much, man. Not much.
Sounds good.
Let me turn that down a bit. Okay, I will share my screen for a second. We'll just go to your OPGG. We are on the cusp of Platinum 4, but this is your peak, yeah?
Yeah, and it definitely is. I mean, I've hit more LP, like you can see, like 40, but I don't know what it is. I keep dropping. I think the strategy is either forgotten or it doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
And you've mentioned it on some of your YouTube videos where, just going bot level 3, not necessarily always the play.
Yeah. Have you have you like given up on Demonic Jack Show, or really
no,
there's
I'm
like
just recently trying that out.
Okay, because really there's like 2 builds right now that are working the best for Nunu.
Okay.
For most people, I would recommend Demonic Jock Show, especially because it gives Nunu that carry potential. The only other build that's really popular right now is the supportive one, but the supportive one almost requires better macro than the hybrid build does. So I would definitely recommend to keep going Demonic Jock Show, because you're kind of building, like, I don't know, some of these games are just weird. Like you're building Randuins into only 1 crit champion, whereas like Frozen Heart would be much better. It seems like you really like Randuins. Is there a reason?
Yeah, really, no. I don't know. I guess I'm not thinking too much about it. Believe the last time we had a coaching, you just gave me 2 options for the second item. It's either Randuins or one for Magic Resist.
Oh, Force of Nature?
Yeah, those were the 2 options that I got. And so I just kept going with it.
Okay, I see. Because yeah, generally it's like, yeah, I'm looking at our chats before and I said generally it's Frozen Heart. So maybe that's just a communication. But that's okay.
So no. It could have gone either way. So I typically don't go Frozen Heart second item just due to the lack of health. I feel that I can do more with more health. That's one reason, especially if they're mixed damage with some AP, some AD.
Because of the increased price of Randuins, you never really get benefit from it unless they have like 2+ crit champions. Like, I know it feels good to have health, but there's also something that some people describe as like EHP, whereas when you build Frozen Heart, you're decreasing the amount of times that an enemy can attack you for however long, which in turn reduces how much damage they will do. So it gives you like a different form of tankiness. I don't know, I can't really describe it that well, but I've like read a lot about it with like Vigar V2. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he describes that a lot too. That Randuin's like you really only get benefit is if like, yeah, the enemy has like maybe a crit jungle, crit 80 carry, and then like maybe one other. Really the only thing good is like reducing the crit damage by 20%, but like if they only have 1 crit champ, it's kind of pointless. Whereas Frozen Heart would be much more beneficial. If you're liking the Radiant Virtue build, like we can do the Radiant Virtue build, but I honestly think, considering you have 100 games played on Nunu and you have 58% win rate, I really think like the hybrid build would be good for you, and it would give you the carry potential that you need with him. So I think we just kind of need to like tune your build a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll send you more stuff on Discord, like just to make it easy for you. But like, this is more or less the rune page I want you to run every single game. You don't have to change it, just set one page, like kind of set it and forget it, and then more or less this is going to be your build path. Pretty much every game though, your core is generally going to be Demonic Jock Show. Boot is dependent up to you. What a lot of the times I like to do, if the early game's going well, I like to buy Lucidity boots and Dark Seal first backs, 1300 gold, and then build into Demonic. And you have so much damage early, so much damage. By the time you have Jock Show, you can solo Baron at 20 minutes with those 2 items very easily. You can 1v1, you can 1v1 most people in the game. If you continue your lead,
so Demonic Jock Show, I actually never seen you build that one. Maybe I just missed it. Okay.
Yeah. No, I played a game of it today too, but yeah, it gives you a lot. Actually, here I can go. Played it today.
So what's how does the playstyle differ? Because I think
it's not even really like the playstyle differs. You can build honestly really anything on Nunu, and if your macro is correct, like you can win. The playstyle is different in the sense that you have a little bit more carry potential in the sense that you do more damage.
Okay.
With Demonic
Let me rephrase the question. with Jackshow, what's the playstyle difference between Jackshow and Radiant Virtue? Because Radiant Virtue, I have the health and the shield that saves me with the ult, so,
Yeah,
I can get away with a little bit more. So how do I play differently?
You can be a little bit more aggressive with Demonic Jackshow. Like you can, like with Radiant, you can't really necessarily look for picks 1v1. Like if you see the enemy AD carry caught out, you can't really just go after them and kill them when you have Radiant. But when you have Demonic Jackshow, like you can run them down, and like the demonic burn does a ridiculous amount of damage. Because all of Nunu's abilities have such high AP scaling, you're really, really, really strong early. And you can pretty much one-shot any champ in the game at level 6 if you have demonic, or even just a little bit of AP. So yeah, I mean, the playstyle doesn't differ that much. You're still trying to accomplish the same goals as Nunu. It's just you're trying to basically just do more damage and rely less on your team. Because like a lot of these games where you have like Radiant, you got armor and all that stuff, you're tanky, but the thing is if the enemy team has a lead and your team doesn't, you're probably still going to lose. Whereas if you have a lead with Demonic Jackshow, then you're like another carry person. You're not relying on like, oh, my fed mid lane or my fed AD carry. It's like, I have impact and damage in team fights. I'm not just like a CC/healing bot.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, so for Jackshow, do I need to be bobbing in and out because I'll be a little bit more squishy, and then also to benefit from the passive healing?
Yeah, like it all depends. Like every fight is different, right? So like generally as Nunu anyways, you kind of look to engage in, lock someone down, get ulti, whatever. And you have to play around your cooldowns a little bit. But going Lucidity boots, because I know you've been building them a little bit, when you have that with Demonic, like your cooldowns are so low, you can sustain in fights pretty well with as long as you're spamming your Q when it's off cooldown. But yeah, I think it's just like getting back to kind of like refreshing the basics with Nunu and macro and stuff, and not like playing random things in ranked, like randomly playing support, randomly playing Kane and Nami and that. But that's just like a thing for climbing in general for everyone.
Right. Yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty disciplined. I've just been losing a lot, so I think I don't know. I have no excuse. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 games there where I off pick, but overall pretty disciplined, and it just hasn't been working well with Nunu, and I just don't understand why. Because when we had our last coaching, everything worked perfectly. Like I was winning. I got all the way with Plat from gold 3 or something, just with one plan. And that's all I'm looking for, really. If I can find anything in this coaching session, is what's my objective in the game? Because I think mechanically I can adapt pretty easily. I just suck at decision making.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because I need to see. We'll get into a game, so I need to see some gameplay. That's generally the biggest thing. But even just like from looking at the OPGG, it's like, I can see, like, I just think like your itemization, your builds, and your runes need a little tweaking, and then it's just like kind of getting back into the flow of things. That's all it is. Like sometimes happens to everyone, man. Like my accounts sometimes have like 4, 5, 6, 7 game loss streaks, and then you kind of feel like you've lost your mojo. But it will, when loss streaks come, win streaks will come too. So yeah, if you go ahead and make that rune page, and then like I said, most games, every game really should be Demonic Jackshow. You can carry with it. And then boot options are kind of dependent up to you, depending how you're feeling on the early game. Because if you rush Lucidity boots and Dark Seal, but like you're really behind, then it's like they're gonna hurt you because you're not gonna have the stats from boots, and you're also gonna be delayed in buying your items. So the only downside about Demonic Jackshow is that if you don't snowball early and you're not doing well, and you don't really have a play within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game that brings you back into it and puts you in a good position, the game will be more difficult because you'll be prioritizing AP, right? So you'll be very squishy.
What's your first item? The
first item, well, like you always go blue pet with Demonic Jackshow, but the first item, generally when I do it, if I have 1300 gold, it will be Lucidity boots and Dark Seal. If I only have 650, I'll buy boots, Dark Seal, and then you itemize towards Demonic building.
Got it. Okay, I think that's when I've tried it out. That's what I've done. Prioritizing boots first, of course, like tier 2 boots when I can. Okay, so that makes sense. I've done this build a couple times. I may not be super adept to what I can get away with.
Yeah, no, that's totally okay. It's just like I said, more games you get with it, the more comfortable you'll feel. But the same overall Nunu macro kind of is the same. Like you're still looking to accomplish the same objective.
Right. What I love about Tank Nunu is that I don't have to do anything right. You know, sometimes Nunu's just so, like, if you build right, he doesn't really take a lot of damage at all. And I just survive. So that's why I like Tank Nunu more. I can definitely do the AP build. I've explored with that. It just is too risky. When I went to full AP, I know this is not full AP, but some degree, I'm squishy.
Yeah. So you'll feel a little bit squishy until you get demonic or jock show, but once you have jock show, then you itemize as tank. You're just making use of the Akira's gaze or whatever, the passive percentage health damage. But no, I mean, like, even since like we last did Kochi, man, you hit Plat 4, and that's like the highest rank you've been. So like, give yourself a pat on the back for that. It's very normal for people to reach a new peak and then kind of lose a bunch, and then they're not sure why they're losing. So we can tweak a couple things, and then I'm sure you'll continue climbing. But yeah, there's nothing really else through your OPGG. We just gotta get in game as long as you have your runes and everything set up, and then we can talk about items and that. But I think for the most part, like, I'll sit back, I'll let you kind of play it out, and then if you have questions. But I know stuff has changed too with you can also go ahead and share your screen. I know things have changed as well since we last did the coaching, because so many jungle changes have happened, where before a lot of the time I found myself going like red raptors Krugs or red Krugs raptors and just like trying to go for bot regardless of the side of the map I was on. But you can't really do that anymore since they nerfed jungle invade. Like, you used to have the 20% damage reduction, right, if you invaded someone's jungle, but they got rid of that. So now if you do that same play, then someone just takes your opposite side jungle and you're screwed. You're down. You're going to be down 2-3 levels. So I think the best bet, and what I've been doing, is kind of back to like the old season and just going, oh, are your runes right? Are your runes
yeah, I switched them up.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's basically back to red raptors Gromp. That's Nunu's fastest, level 3. If there's a gank opportunity available, then great, you can go for it. If not, then you can look to clear like your raptors or your blue or whatever.
Yeah, another mistake I've been doing is full clearing. I don't know why, but
yeah, don't full clear on Nunu. He's...
like, I get to Krugs. Yeah, I know. I need to just prioritize ganking early. So so this game, you're saying you're just gonna kick back and let me decide, or?
No, like, I'm gonna be here to help you decide, but I think like I said, a lot of the macro for Nunu hasn't really changed. So that's why I'm saying, like, take your red, take your raptors, take your Gromp, and then we'll kind of assess. Because I do, like, from the one coaching session you made it to Plat, so like clearly you took stuff away from the coaching session. So now, like, what I like to do is I want to see if you have any bad habits that we need to try and change. Like, you kind of identified you full clear, not great, but it's generally the biggest thing holding people back is when they reach a new peak is macro. It's kind of like they get to this rank and then it's like, oh, okay, like, what do I need to do to win games, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, that's exactly my problem, I think. Definitely not ganking enough either. I know that when we had our coaching session, one of the biggest takeaways was you just told me to gank all the time, and I just wanted to farm. I don't know. I felt so silly because it feels so much better when you're ganking and it works, and you just keep spam ganking, and I still get the levels. I know the payback gold or whatever it was called, they removed that. Let me lower the volume.
Oh yeah, you don't have to buy a potion anymore. Totally up to you. A lot of the times I haven't been buying a potion.
Okay.
But it's totally okay. That's not like an error or anything. The only risky thing with dropping a ward in this bush here is sometimes, if the enemy team 5 stacks, but not a bad board to place.
Yeah, that'd be scary. I just ward anywhere. Most of the time I ward here.
Yeah, like, that's not a bad board. Like, it looks like they're trying to invade here, but we saw them, so you guys should be fine and you're stacked. But yeah, so I mean, we'll see if it's a little Fiesta fight for your red. I would just wait in that bush.
Yeah, so you wouldn't go in the bush?
Like, I'd just sit in that one there. I wouldn't like walk right up into the one where we saw them.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna.
And just wait until red spawns. Because if they start trying to take your red, like, they can't contest you. Like, you can just Q smite it at 1k and it's free. Okay, perfect. So they're not there. So yeah, just take your red, get the leash, then you can snowball to raptors, and then, like, you don't have to use smite, and then you can go to Gromp as well. For the snowball, for when you're going to Gromp, you can do it once you're at the entrance of the other side of the jungle.
Yeah, I got that.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I know this clear very well. This is what I started on. This is what you were doing a couple seasons back. We'll just assess once we finish the clear to see what we gank.
Yeah, because like level 2 ganks are pretty memey. I don't like to rely on them. The only time I ever do that is if I know, like, someone doesn't have flash from an invade or something. So You can go ahead snowball right to Gromp, and then just release your snowball just right before you get to Gromp, because it prevents you from... Because when you actually hit someone with your snowball, it kind of like stuns you for a second and you can't attack.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to look mid just immediately after.
Yeah, he's pushed up. You got Brandon and Vigar, so if he hits stuns, and you can just Q it. You don't have to smite. But
okay.
That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, you can start snowballing around the little bush there, and then look to hit him. He's pretty low, so he might flash. Okay, should be a kill. Good stuff. All right. You can help him push out the wave if you want.
It's good. I committed to walking away. Oh, there's another wave coming.
That's
fine. I'll help.
So I'm gonna do TP. Okay, he does. Yeah, just keep helping him clear that. Keep helping him clear. Make sure it crashes into tower. And take a look at top here. Just see if they're fighting. Yeah, I would go top. Olaf might, or Renekton might kill. Okay, good stuff.
Okay.
You can go take your blue. Yep. And then you'll look to just take crab after blue.
Okay.
And then
just probably crab and recall, I think. Or should I wait until get the?
You can wait until you have a bit more gold. But yeah, you can take blue and then take crab. Buys top, so she might contest you on crab. So you'll have to wait to Q smite it at 1k basically.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Just careful because she can kind of fuck you up. But you can walk up to it. You can go Q smite it right now. You can go Q smite it. You can't do anything. Chomp. There we go. Go mid. Go mid. Go mid. Snowball mid. Brand's gonna get caught. Okay, the buy is kind of dumb. But you guys should win this. Vigar has no cage. You can, if you see Vi, focus Vi because she's low. She'll probably flash, but...
Weird. Alright, that was close.
That's okay. You guys got Vi flash, so you can get bot crab here too. And yeah, just kind of do what you can on the map until you get 1300.
Yeah, okay, got you. That's good to know.
So I would wait for your snowball and then snowball to raptors.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
And then you can take wolves and then recall.
Wolves and go? Okay, that would be enough. How much does wolves get? Do you know that?
It's like, I don't know the exact gold value because they changed it recently, but it's like 100 and something roughly for a camp.
Okay, good to know. I mean, a lot of those things some players care about. I want to know, what should I be caring about?
Yeah, like that's like very minute things. Like I don't know. I don't really worry about it too much. I just know roughly a camp is about around 100 gold, and like you get the passive gold income too, so you'll have enough. There's nothing really going on, so it's up to you if you want to take your Gromp before you reset or just reset.
I'm just gonna reset. Take this because Gromp's level 2, so I'm totally fine with leaving it.
Yep. So just buy Lucidity Boots and Dark Seal.
Oh, okay. I was very confused.
Perfect. Okay, so what I would do here is I would walk down towards bot. You can snowball to your Krugs and take them, or you can just look to fight bot if you think there's a gank opportunity.
Yeah, I think there might be. I'm going to definitely save snowball just in case. The waves.
Yeah, they're sitting right down there. So if you can snowball in and Ali can land his knockup, it should be a free double kill for you guys. You can snowball now. Perfect.
I'm going to go for...
Okay. Ali's got a good engage.
I'm just going to secure this.
Yeah, good stuff. Good call. And you can help them push the wave actually. Unless, they can't, like Trist can't really freeze because of her
passive. I go for drag?
I want you to hit level 5. So just like help her push. You leech XP from like 1 or 2 lane minions and you'll hit level 5. And then just go dragon. You guys don't need to die evolution.
Got it.
So yeah, you can solo dragon. I would just Q smite it right away because you have 2 charges. Perfect. And then it'll come up again. You guys may take it pretty fast and the smite charge may not come up, but you shouldn't have any contest with damage over
right
here.
Now, so I'll be good. I'm just gonna save my Q.
And then if you want, you can actually... Yeah, hey, love to hear that, man. We see Vi's top, her blue's coming up. Perfect opportunity to counter jungle. Just be mindful because her bot lane is crashing. Yep. You can Q smite now and you'll get it though. Good stuff. You can turn this if Trist comes. But their mid is missing, so just be careful.
I'll just keep baiting. See, oh shit, I was way too fast.
That's okay. Just be a little bit careful. That solution's heal though.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I didn't realize I got my my rune movement speed. Sometimes that catches me off guard.
You can look mid or take raptors. It's okay. Yeah, just go raptors now. Yeah, so the only thing you'll notice a little bit different from the rune page I switched you up to is this one will make you tankier. The other one you get the move speed from Relentless, but the thing, you kind of mitigate that by rushing tier 2 boots early. You get that nice spike in move speed. So,
okay.
Yeah, taking red and then just kind of playing the map.
Yeah, let me see. I lost this item that I'm building next.
There you go. So ideally, like backing with 850 plus, because then that lets you buy the blasting wand.
Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. What am I doing?
Yeah, you can take those back by your blasting wand, and then I would probably go towards my top side and look to take Herald. When you, as Nunu, being able to secure the first dragon and an early Herald is really, really good. I'm not sure if you know, but Herald does give your team like global gold for securing it.
Upon killing it? Or are you talking about towers? Okay.
No, upon killing it. And then, yeah, it's like, it's really, really good to use to help a teammate snowball or just secure a tower before an objective. Like, there's so many things that can be done with Herald. First Herald is very, very impactful, especially the higher you get. So this would be like, this is an ideal Nunu early game. You've impacted the map. You've given both mid and bot lane a great lead. You took the early dragon. Now you're looking to play Herald. I'd go Crab first if Crab's up. And then you can take...
yeah, so typically I prioritize Herald over Dragon if I have to make a decision.
So generally, the best thing to do with it macro-wise is if you know the position of the enemy jungler, just kind of like when you made the call to Invader Blue. If you see her trying to gank top and Dragon's up, just go take Dragon. She can't contest it. Same thing vice versa. Say you're on the top side of the map, maybe your bot isn't doing so hot, you see them being ganked, or you saw that Dragon just got taken. You can start Herald because it's going to take Vi a good 15, 20 plus seconds to even get to you if she beelined straight to you.
I'm going to gank top. I'm going to try diving.
Okay.
There's
just be careful, but...
Alright.
I respect it. Like if you wanna test the limits and go for the dive. Olaf's just a tricky one because you know, he just clicks R and then runs away. But your Renekton's really fed, so I would just EQ smite. Renekton should finish him off. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't flash there. I almost did. Yeah, we could have gotten the kill, I'm sure. But
you can help him take tower if you want, because it only takes a plate and a half. But he'll get it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I thought it took 2.
No, so they actually, I think a month and a half ago, sometime during this season, they nerfed Herald, so it only takes a plate and a half.
I'm gonna so I'm gonna skip my top jungle, just go bot.
Yeah, even if your bot dies, this could be a double kill for you, or at least to pick up Lucian or Vi. Yeah, you should just snowball. Okay, EQ. You'll have to ult probably. That's okay. That's okay.
What did I do wrong there? I didn't do anything.
I mean, you just got CC'd by Vi, and I think, did Lucian press heal? Because Vi got a lot of health.
I believe so.
Anyway.
Yeah, I heard it.
So yeah, the heal kind of like I can't really hear the audio, so I can't tell. But yeah, it looks like Lucian healed, so that kind of screwed you over. Otherwise, you would have just been able to hit her with W, EQ, and run out with phase rush. But it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, you can just look to probably go
here,
take your Raptors, go take whatever, and then look for Dragon.
You don't suggest that I be on drag?
No, I'm saying like you could take like a camp or two. You still want to try and keep your CS up. This is just like a good habit. The higher you climb, you do have to be a little bit more optimized with you know, taking your camps, ganking when you take objectives, but your bot's winning, your mid's winning, so you should be able to take Dragon. I would just look to take Crab because we're not sure where Vi is. So yeah, just take that. I'd start Dragon.
Okay.
You got your team here. Renekton's down here too because he took first tower, so just hopefully your Trist isn't inting. You might have to help her out. Okay, nice. Good stuff.
I KS there with this smite.
No, don't even worry about it, man.
I'm not.
With this build, KSing isn't bad because you get so much damage when you have demonic. So yeah, it doesn't even matter that you don't have smite because this is free. And then I would just probably here look to take your raptors and your red, and you can back for demonic because it's a really big spike for you. Okay. This is basically what you try and play for early game on Nunu, getting that demonic with your boots. You're very, very strong. And then once you get Jock Show, you'll truly realize the potential of the build with how tanky you are.
I'm going to get red too, so I don't have to come back down there.
Mm-hmm. Looks like your Renekton's doing a suicide mission. Looks like they might kill Olaf top. Maybe.
Yeah, so let's see what I would do next.
I would buy a ruby crystal towards Jock Show.
I'm going to probably hold bot.
Yep.
I don't know. Is that what you do?
Your Trist is top. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of pushing for free. Nobody's stopping them, but they'll only get like a plate or two. I just wouldn't look to like engage on them too hard.
No, I'm just looking at they're pushing. Yeah. I just want the minions really and to stop them.
Yeah, so you just hit those, you'll get one shot. Perfect. And then Renekton is coming. So if they stay, you can have to fight it. I'd just sweep. I'd go into the river too, look in that bush, see if you can sweep. That plant will help you out.
What the fuck?
Okay. Just be careful, You gotta wait for Renekton. You could look to go in now though. Oh no. Vi's ulting, alright. And Renekton is not moving. I would hit the plant, heal up, and then wait to snowball in with W if you can. Depends if Renekton dies or not. But Vi has no R, so you can engage here for sure. Olaf ghosts. Or it looked like he did for a second. Weird. Beautiful.
Sick. I'm gonna invade their jungle.
You took hard engage. You didn't die. You did your job as Nunu, and you'll notice too the more you play. But when you have demonic and you're low health with revitalize, you will basically heal like a full health bar. So it really baits people sometimes because they think they're gonna kill you, and you Q and you just heal like 800 HP.
So how does that work? Like,
that's simply just because. So Nunu, he heals more from his consume when he's below. I think it's either 50 or 40% health, and then revitalize also increases your heal and shield power. And then also his consume, the heal on his consume scales with AP, which demonic gives you. So. It just synergizes so well with him. I'd go Herald here. You can take that whole mid wave. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. There's nobody there to take it. You want to deny the enemies the golden XP from cannon wave, so perfect. I like the way you're thinking, man. Like you're definitely. I think it's just like you might have lost your groove a little bit and like itemization wise, but I think this build is going to work very, very well for you.
Yeah, I don't know why I lose so many games. I really don't. Like, I play this way. Sometimes I really throw on ganks. Like, ganks can be thrown sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my teammates need to do a little bit more damage, in other words, than I can, because I can't really do a lot of damage early on. And people don't commit a lot of the times, which is really annoying.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like what I noticed too from coaching people in like bronze and silver, and that it's like you can make the proper macro calls and you can do the right things, but then you also have to try and lead for people to join you with that. So
yeah.
And that's generally what loses games, like even when you're winning, is like the small throws that add up.
I want to fight, but I'm gonna get this first.
There's no real reason to, so you can just clear your top side. I would just go take blue, and then I would go over to dragon.
Okay, I think I can take at least 2 camps, but I'll listen. You want to get there early, probably.
Yeah. You always like to be there like a little bit early, so if a fight breaks out, you're there to help your team. Yeah, you can take wolves too. It's fine. You still got time, and you kind of melt camps with demonic, but. That's the thing, it's right. Like you don't really want to be caught like on a camp while your team's fighting near an objective and you're not there.
That's why I'm pushing up.
Yeah.
It's because my team's in a pretty good position, so I want to go.
Yeah. Maybe Brand will combo with you. Or it looks like he's gone. There's missing everything. Okay, well, yeah, you guys should be able to go dragon. You got 5 there. Vigar's top, so if they come and engage you guys, you just kind of win it. And this is the other thing with his build too on objectives. You take objectives a lot faster. Like generally, dragons at this point in the game, like 2nd, 3rd, 4th dragon, whatever 5th, are really hard to take as Nunu when you're full tank because you don't do damage. But because you do percentage health damage, like, okay, good engage. Hopefully, okay. I'd back up just because Tarkar. You're gonna have
I'm
to.
good. I'm
yeah,
good. I can survive.
Good ult. You're playing it well. Look at that damage, man.
Ah, man, I was spamming Q.
Yeah, you kind of got chain CC'd. That's not horrible. 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys had basically 2 supports and an 80 carry versus 2 carries and a support. So.
Yeah, see, things like that I do often, and just this was a good example of how some of I get so many losses. I can int because I think I'm fed. I think my team is in a good spot, and I engage a fight that we shouldn't have.
So what I would recommend here, I would go take your red.
Yeah.
Red. I would try and hit level 12. But what you can do, and what I actually do in a lot of my games, is probably like 30 seconds before Baron's up, I go back to base and I drop Herald in bot lane. And Herald will push
from fountain.
Yep, from base, and Herald will push all the way down bot. Somebody's got to stop it, or he's gonna go take the inhib tower, and you just go Baron. You drop a pink on Baron. You know that they have no vision, and you just take it because somebody's gonna have to go to Herald. If they don't, the inhib's gone.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can take wolves. What's the timer on Baron? Yeah, 25 seconds.
30 seconds.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, it's okay. You can take Gromp.
I don't know why I did this first.
Take Scuttle and reset. Okay, and just drop Herald bot lane. You can just perfect. As long as you angle it properly,
I hope I did.
Even when you're in fountain, it'll go to that respective lane.
Okay.
You don't have to run there, but that's okay. So yeah, I would just walk up to Baron, drop your pink, make sure there's no vision.
Should I get
if there
level
is, oh, your Alistair might be getting picked here. Looking for 12 is good. Yes. Ali looks like he's fine.
I just dropped the pink though.
Okay, so yeah, just sweep it. Makes it a little bit harder without having a pink, but...
Should I try? Yeah, I know, I bought one, but...
Use your E though, use your E. This is a little risky though, because Vigar's top, but it looks like your team's doing okay mid.
Yeah, I get away with this often. As long as my team doesn't come.
Yes, it blows my mind. Even in like some of my high diamond games that I play, like it works. As long as you have vision, like people are dumb to check. So you got Trisk, so yeah, you can just queue it at 1250. You don't really have to smite it. You can keep your smite. Gives you a good lockdown for fights. Perfect. Go push mid with your team. Go mid. Looks like your team's in a skirmish here. Big snowball. Love that. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can dive him.
Yep, just careful with tanking, but you guys take that tower for free. So you can just kind of push up slowly with your team. You can look in her jungle, deny her stuff. But
I'm gonna push bot since I have Baron, and it's pushing anyways.
Okay. I'll let you do a little bit. I'll do a little less, kind of like instructing. I'll let you just kind of do what you want to do here and see how it goes.
Okay.
Because the game's in a really good position for you guys here. I would recommend though playing around your team and.
Oh, I am. I'm just
and looking for an opportunity to back when you can, because you do have a lot of gold.
Got it.
Okay, nice engage. I like the dive. I like the retreat back to help your team on the Vi. That was good, man. How are you feeling with the damage so far? You like it?
Yeah, it's a lot of damage. If I can get my ult off, then I'm super happy.
Oh yeah, you pop people. Even hitting long range snowballs. What's their team? They got Vi, Olaf, Lucian. I'd just go Frozen Heart.
Frozen, cool. Yeah, no, the damage is much. I definitely play really well on damage. Nunu is, because I don't play League often, it's like probably better that I play a tank. But he's tanky enough that even if I do build damage, I can survive. And I can make mistakes, and retreat if I don't anticipate my damage very well.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
Okay,
once you
like
get
it.
more comfortable with this build, bro, you're disgustingly tanky. Like, if you have any sort of a small lead with, once you have the 2 items completed, like, you do so much damage and people have such a hard time killing you. It feels insane. But it's also a double-edged sword in the sense that if you're behind, you feel incredibly weak and you die very fast. But
Oof.
yeah,
That
so
would have been fun. All right, so I'm just gonna keep pushing lanes. I mean, my team's split, so I'm gonna be split too.
okay. Yeah, so the best thing macro-wise is once you have one inhibitor, you want to play on one of the other 2 lanes.
Yep.
Because they're constantly their mid lane is constantly being pushed in, so hopefully your Renekton stops dying in the side lane. But he's creating a lot of pressure, so if you guys can hard push top, then it's really good for you guys.
Yep. I mean,
even if he dies here, he took 1 person with him and he dragged half the enemy team. Oh, he's just 1v9.
Oh, you gotta kill.
All right, you guys get a free top inhib. I would just go whack tower. Go whack tower, give passive to Trist. And then same thing with inhib, give passive to Trist again.
Oh,
you always want to hit the objective once, whatever you're pushing, because it makes the 80 carry just go crazy with the attack speed and move speed. So same thing, go hit Nexus towers. Go hit the Nexus tower, and then go hit the other one. Good stuff. And then now you can kind of play defense or offense, dive a little bit. Dude, this is your first game playing this build and it looks like you know it.
Yeah.
You already know what you're doing.
How many games did you say I had on Nunu?
I think 100. And you have a good win
crazy.
rate, so
there's no way. Only 100 games.
Let me go. I honestly can't remember. Let me go back to the chat here. What am I doing? You have 102 games of Nunu.
Across all seasons?
No, this season.
Oh, just this season. Okay. I was gonna say, there's no way.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. You're comfortable on Nunu. Your win rate's good on Nunu. All you need is a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of re-encouragement on macro and what to do when. But dude, you played that game really well. I gave you a bit of direction, but not really that much. It was basically just I was basically reinforcing what you were already doing. Because pretty much anytime I was saying something, you were on your way to do that said thing.
Yeah. So, what did when you say you gave me direction? Can you just remind me? I can't remember. When did I need direction? When did it make sense?
I think sometime when I told you to take Herald sometime on the first Herald call, just kind of explaining the importance of rotating there after Dragon. But you made the good call to what I mean when I'm saying that I gave you a bit of direction, but you were already on your way. When you mentioned to invade her blue, take her blue. We pretty much said it at the exact same time. So your macro calls are on point. I think it's just developing these leads and keeping these leads, putting a little bit more importance on Herald. And then this build, you played it well. So that game you played it well. You didn't die much. So you have to do your you are so strong if you can maintain your Dark Seal stacks with Demonic Jock Show. So trying to take smart fights, sometimes you just have to let your teammates die if they take bad fights. But I think if you can replicate what you did that game, how you ganked early, you applied pressure on the map early, helped you transition into getting dragons, and then helped you transition into getting Herald, and then just keeping that lead going, you're gonna soar through platinum. And you got good gains too. I think you were at probably negative LP, I imagine. If you had a couple losses at Plat for 0 LP, and you just got 22, so I think, let me see, it should show me.
What are you trying to calculate? Because I don't understand. Here, hold up 1 second.
Basically, when you lose games, oh no, maybe not actually. I guess it does make you lose 0 LP. Sometimes League's weird and it gives you lower gains, but it looks like you're getting around +19 to +23 depending. So that's still good. That's 4 or 5 wins away from Platinum 3, right?
Yeah.
So it these loss streaks hurt obviously because the MMR or the LP changes, but win streaks also go crazy. So I know you haven't played that many games, so you haven't really been stagnating in Plat. Like from last month, like you've only really played like less than 7 or 8 games. So yeah, I think just put more games in, man. Replicate how you played that game. If you can understand what you did that game to help you guys develop the lead and win, then you will have no problem climbing through platinum. Like truthfully.
Right. And I honestly, I feel that way, right? I feel that I'm a strong league player, and I'm a decent jungler. But the game gets really hard sometimes. Sometimes, depending, like this was, everything made sense. The decisions were easy to make. It was obvious which one to make. It's not like I had to make a split decision between one and another thing. Other games, I do have to make split decisions. In other games, I'm going against a better jungler, you know? Like, the laners, I don't care about the laners. But when I'm going against a jungler who knows what he's doing, it gets really tough. Because we're both probably the only fed ones on the team. I mean, this is how it happens for me, at least. And then we're both ganking a lot. And it's almost like a coin flip, it feels. I don't know how to control those games. And that's what I hope one of these coaching sessions you can see, because I don't know how to solve those problems. Like ganking and making decisions when the game is flowing in my direction sometimes works. You know, as long as I don't throw. Throwing is the problem when things are going well. But yeah, I'll play more games in. I'll try to focus on this new build. I mean, I'll stick to it. I'll probably So do you play this build every game?
So I'm kind of in between like testing stuff right now, like the supportive build, but I would not recommend it. It's a very different play style. It's kind of, you're more reliant on your team that way. I recommend everyone like below like Masters D2, especially if you're comfortable on Nunu. Demonic Jock Show every game. You can always have agency. You can always have carry potential. Do the damage that you need instead of having to fully rely on your team. But I don't like some games. There's nothing you can do to prevent a loss, if that makes sense. Some games you're gonna get the griefers. Some games you're gonna get the people who tilt and throw at like 35 minutes in the game and cause you guys to lose a game. It's gonna happen. Sometimes you cannot prevent a loss, and really that's why I try and like get it into people's heads that I coach, that playing League and climbing, especially when you get into the higher ranks, is all about a marathon. And it's a marathon in a number of games played, as well as a mental marathon, not tilting, playing for yourself, knowing how to win, and just repeating that over and over. Because like you can go on big loss streaks, you can go on streaks where you have bad teams and they throw, but as long as you can overcome that and you can continue to play at a fundamental level and know what you're doing and replicate that and try and keep it as consistent as possible throughout games, you will climb, without a doubt in my mind. But that's the thing, it's just like it's a numbers game. Like there is no possible way for you to hit Diamond 4 if you want to hit Diamond 4 without probably putting in another like 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 games. Because you like, for sure you could win streak, dude. You could win streak right to D4 in like less than like, I don't know, 25 games. But you could also get up to Platinum 2 and then go on a big loss streak back to Platinum 3, and then you're kind of in like this roller coaster where you're stuck in Platinum. But it's just like persevering through that and still like, just don't get discouraged if you go on a loss streak or if you're stuck in Platinum for a little while, because this is an area where a lot of people do get stuck as they learn the game and they learn the different macro and everything. You just got to power through it, keep doing the same build, keep the same runes. The worst thing that people tend to do is they get stuck in an elo, they don't really know what to do, then they're like, oh, maybe I should play a different role. This seems OP, or like this build seems OP, or doing this differently. Just like stick to the basics, the fundamentals that we talked about, and replicate that, because some games you can't do anything about it. But like I said, what you did this game, if you can replicate that and be consistent with your other games, you will have no issue. Because even from our last session, like when we first did it, like you seem a lot more comfortable on Nunu, and you haven't played a ton of games since. Like you literally, you peaked, you like from the one session, like you improved all the way to platinum, which is huge. So clearly you're taking away from this coaching session important things and you're applying them to your game. And now you just do a little refresher.
Right. I do gotta say the last coaching session there was a like you gave me something like a plan, right? The plan is a little bit more convoluted this time because it's almost like just play League of Legends. But before you said just gank bot level 3 and spam it, and we ganked bot like 15 times.
Yep.
It was ridiculous, and I learned so much. I didn't realize that I could gank so much. And then this game, it's that everything I learned probably still applies, but because I was all around the map, it's difficult for me to find a repeatable, like a process. You know, it was very easy the first time around, like just gank bot. Now
and
it's not as easy to figure it out.
And the reason why that is because the last time we did the session was back when bot lane was so strong and people couldn't invade your jungle because there's the jungle damage debuff. You got more XP for lane minions, you got more XP for first blood, for kills and everything. So the game literally was who's going to get to bot faster and who's going to kill the bot lane first. And that was just the state of the game. It was kind of lame. It was good for Nunu, but it was lame. But now, since then, a couple patches later, you can invade other people. There's no damage debuff, so people will invade you if you permanently sit bot and don't touch your topside jungle. You can't just repeat gank non-stop because you don't get as much XP for kills. You don't get as much XP from lane minions as a jungler, so you fall behind that way if you're against someone who full clears. So you have, that's why I say like now you have to balance. Platinum you can still get away with like ganking a little bit more than you should, but you have to, the higher you climb, you have to balance ganking and taking camps, because if you try and gank bot 4 times and you fail and you don't get a kill, the enemy jungler has probably just full cleared their jungle like entirely and maybe ganked another lane or reset and got gold on the map. So I understand where you're coming from, where you say that it felt like last time I basically told you exactly what to do, repeat that and you'll climb. Now the game state has changed a little bit, so you can't do that. And that's why with playing League, you have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to change your playstyle, because if something's not working out for you, there's a reason why. And then you have to sit back, reflect, and generally that's what coaching sessions do. They help you identify those things, because things change. Sometimes people can't keep up with it. But it's basically like we've reverted back to last season with Nunu, in the sense that you're just looking to impact the map, but you have to balance ganking and clearing a little bit, because you can have your jungle stolen. But dragons are still important. Getting your bot lane is still generally more important than other lanes. But like we saw mid lane, when Viger was pushed up, he was a free kill. You burn his flash, very easy to gank. So I know it seems a little strange, like I can't tell you exactly one specific thing to do, but it's just that's getting in the habit as you climb. There isn't always going to be kind of do it all type of solution that you can just do one thing every single game and have it work. Early game, you kind of can with doing the Red Raptors Gromp, set you up for a gank opportunity, but some games there won't be a gank opportunity. And then you kind of have to think what to do. Okay, I gotta clear my camp, see what I can do. Maybe if I know where the enemy jungler is, I can counter gank. But no, I think honestly, if you just repeat each game what we talked about and just try to gank when you can, when you know it's available, and get those dragons. Dragons are strong. Bot lane's strong. Herald's strong.
All right, that sounds good. Everything makes sense. I just want thanks for explaining. You know how
of course, man.
Different before and how the state of the game as it is now. And there's not always an easy answer, right? So that all makes sense. I appreciate that, because for me, I think of one thing at a time. Like right now, I'm just playing League. I don't look up builds. Like you give me a build, I'll stick with it. I'll be disciplined. I'll play Nunu. I keep it very simple. So I don't really care too much about everything else. But I definitely take advantage of it once I know it. That's why I get these lessons.
Yes, and that's why I think too. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I think that it's just OP, right? Knowing about the game sometimes is enough to win.
Yes.
You know, knowing the things like itemization, right? This one doesn't work anymore. You have to do this one now.
And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get caught up and make a lot of mistakes in lower elo as well, is that they're too focused on like, oh, specific itemization or specific, like, oh, someone's countering me, like I can't play the game, or like, they have this comp, like I can't play, blah blah blah, or like minute stuff that really doesn't matter, especially in those elos, because counters are irrelevant if people don't know why they counter said specific champion, or and like team comps are really irrelevant until you get to higher elo and then you know how they synergize and everything. So I like the way you approach it in the sense that you basically dumb the game down. That makes it as easy as possible for you to play and replicate the same things so you can win the game. I think that's the best way to go about it. There's a lot of stuff in the game I don't know. Like when you said how much gold am I going to get from this camp, I got no fucking clue, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie about it. I know it's somewhere around 100 gold, but again, Nunu's a low econ jungler. He's not necessarily someone who needs like, oh, okay, I know I need like this exact amount of gold from this camp so I can get this and back. Like and that's why like people say he's inflated in a sense that like he's very unique. You play him different than enemy junglers. You don't really need a ton of gold to play him because his objective is just to get his team ahead. He's basically like a different kind of Ivern in the sense that he supports his teammates to have the outcome of a win. And that's why you'll also lose some games where you feel like you did everything right, but you still can't win because you have 4 people that you're basically trying to support, get them ahead to help you win the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, so I'll try to get in. I'll try to see if I can climb. If I can't, if I'm stuck, I'll book. If I climb, I get stuck, I'll book another one. Typically, that's the best because I'll have more questions there. Those times. So
like I said, if I were like, my thing with coaching people is that I want them to get the most value out of the session, so I don't recommend people booking another session until they've put a good amount of games. Like I would recommend at least go and play like 20-25 or more games, because you'll get the feel for the build, you'll get the feel for the macro and the elo, you'll get the like where your strengths and your drawbacks are and what you think you need to improve on, and then having someone coach is just kind of helping you reflect, maybe identify areas you can't identify on your own or weaknesses, and just like tie it all together basically.
Yeah, but I gotta say, last time we did 2 sessions and that was really helpful too, because you told me what to do one game and then the next game I did it right. And so it's almost like checking my homework, and making sure I understood and refining it. So it is also helpful for me to get multiple sessions in a day.
For sure. I think truthfully from how I saw you play today, I don't think us doing another session right now or even tomorrow would necessarily benefit you that much, because I think you played the game well. You made good calls for the lead and like what you needed to do based on what you saw on the map. So I think you just need to go play more games and just think to yourself, like those calls you were making to me when you said like, oh, let's go invade this, or like I'm gonna go top and get this, just keep that up and like think to yourself why you're doing what you're doing and how it's going to benefit you. So but if you have any questions, like feel free to reach out to me on Discord. We can figure something out in the future, but definitely go get some games in with this build and carry your way
to diamond.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see.
Exactly. It's achievable, man. You still got lots of time, so just get those games in.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll let you know if I have any questions. Thanks for your time.
Sounds good.
Last minute.
Hey, no problem, man. Cool. Of course.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy. Okay. I really liked that session. He's improved so much, man. Even just from that's what I love to see. This guy I think we did, like you said, we did 2 games in one day, 2 live games a couple months ago. And I haven't really talked to him since, except for the odd question. And he has climbed himself from gold 4 to a new all-time high of platinum 4. Like the highest he's ever been. I was like, man, that makes me feel so good. So I'm hyped for that. We can go back and play some more games, test builds and whatnot, but that was a good session. Probably make a tuber out of that.